Okay, let's start with Geeta Dhyana. O Bhagavad Gita, by which Arjuna was illumined by Lord Krishna himself, and which was composed of 18 chapters within the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. O Divine Mother, destroyer of rebirth, who showers the nectar of oneness upon us. O Bhagavad Gita, my affectionate mother, on thee I meditate. All the Upanishads are the cows. The milker is the cowherd boy, Krishna. Arjuna is the calf. People of purified intellect are the drinkers. The milk is the supreme nectar of the Gita. My salutations to the Lord, is the source of supreme bliss, whose grace makes the mute eloquent and the crippled cross mountains. Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay. So we had a good discussion yesterday about this shloka. In order to succeed, people worship the gods, the devas. Success soon comes by actions in the world. It was a good discussion, yes? Can we touch it? Can we touch on what was being shared then? What we were imbibing in?
The Lord is the source of all grace that gives us mobility, that allows us to eat, that allows us to function.
Do we see that that we all worship?
And yeah, we worship too.
Do we see that we all worship? Yeah. And we all worship a form of God. Did we catch that? Mm-hmm. Are we able to hold on to that?
God is
So whatever we endeavor in, whatever we engage in, we worship something. Hmm? Even if we worship tamas. How can you worship tamas?
By
couch potato.
Sorry? Couch potato. By meditating upon it. Yeah. By honoring it.
Yeah.
By devoting oneself to it.
Doing evil.
Yes?
Yes.
So it's possible to worship tamas, isn't it? It's not that uncommon. And then success comes. Yay, I was able to learn how to sleep all day. Quickly. Success comes quickly. Success comes quickly. This is what he shares. So this life of the sense objects. Peace Pilgram would say, I learned that it was easy to make money.
Yes.
But what? What's the but?
It doesn't.
Sorry?
It doesn't satisfy.
It doesn't satisfy. It doesn't satisfy. Okay. But in the same notion, we explored this some, that also one who worships the highest. And again, what does that mean, right? Meditate upon, yes? So, meditate upon, offer to, offer oneself to, sacrifice oneself to. We were discussing yesterday, there's the highest meaning of sacrifice, to make sacred, but there's also these lower meanings of sacrifice. Whatever we wish, we give something for, right? Swami Premananda Ji Maharaj would say, the world is a marketplace, everything's for sale.
Yes.
And in the same way, truth is on offer. In the same way, love is on offer. In the same way, the eternal being is on offer. Meditate upon, serve,
The highest.
sacrifice
For the same.
to the highest.
Yes.
And and it's an interesting concept, right? Because for a while yesterday, there's no doubt that we were seeing that everything here is God.
Yes, it's perfect.
Everything here is God. So it's one of those moments, and then we leave the satsang hall and
Forget.
Yeah.
so this is something we're not wanting to forget. Okay.
Swami, gee, one thing I notice, and it's very difficult, is that language means, like, okay, so I have to say to someone, hey, go get this cup, and then Swami sits and says, this is not a cup. So it's like we have to communicate the concept, but...
No, you don't have to communicate the concept. You have to have the bhava, you have to imbibe in the concept.
No.
And even beyond the concept. It's not about communicating the concept. No. If Swami corrects your language, it's just in order to get you to pay attention. It's not really about correcting your language. I'm not saying, no, now you say this like a trained puppet. No.
See,
Not at all. I'm saying it because you don't know what you're saying.
Right.
Well,
I
is
don't
it,
think
You've forgotten what's here. And so I'll twist your language a little bit, like a back adjustment, just in order to get you to stop and be aware.
I don't know if we're on the same page with the question.
Then reword it.
Okay. Like,
Is it a question?
yeah. Like
Okay.
how because I have to communicate with everyone, like karma yoga or doing something.
Yeah, you just use normal words, normal language.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not teaching. I'm not teaching either, by the way.
it just happens.
No, I know, but it's. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's hard for me to remember that it's not what the word is ascribing to it, or the memory that comes about that, and to always remember that it is,
But that's your practice, isn't it?
I guess
That's sadhana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who said it's easy?
Oh,
I think several times, even in the last 2 chapters, the Lord says it's not easy. Right? Yeah. Okay. It's not easy.
So,
But what's the work? But who's here? No, who's here right now? Who's here?
permeating that.
You worked it out, right? Didn't you? When we were together, did you not work it out? Did you not see that one universal is underlying everything here, that it's only the universal in action? Did you see that? That everything is universal force.
I
Huh?
have a strong feeling it is. Yes.
Yeah. You see it, and then you forget it.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So recognize that.
Yeah.
So recognize that, and then we continue. Don't get full of yourself. Don't get puffed up on yourself. Right? Recognize that there's a higher truth here, and I can touch it, but I keep forgetting it. Huh? And then, what's the question?
We feel it.
Yeah. How to remember.
How to remember it? That's the question. That's the question.
do you feel?
And how important is it to remember it in every moment?
Oh,
Very helpful. It's always.
Okay. So we continue from here. 13. We'll read a few and then pick up more commentary. By variously distributing nature's qualities, the gunas, and activities, karma, throughout humanity, I thus created the 4 castes, mental tendencies. Though I am the author of it all, know that I am not the doer and I never change. Now you can approach this from the same place, which is, who did this? Variously distributing nature's qualities. And we haven't explored, that's chapter 17, the gunas in detail, but we have the concepts of the different qualities of nature, right? We have the concepts, tamas, lethargy,
Yes.
sleepiness, darkness. So we have that concept. We have the concept of rajas, passionate action, right? We have the concept of sattva, which is stable, settled, right?
Yes.
So do we see that those qualities are all about us?
Permeate us.
Ah. So who distributed them?
Lord.
It's not just that he's saying it. Can you catch that there's a universal factor
In everything.
that's even distributed these gunas? Look at the animals. Based upon the spec sheet, the type of animal,
Mm-hmm.
it has a different distribution of these qualities, right?
Sure enough.
And distribution is happening now, is it not?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and look at our minds. Each are different in a way, but the function is the same. The mind principle is one, but the personalities are different. But still, they're within a range prescribed to the human birth. What is the manatee? When we say tamas and look for an animal that's an example, manatee comes to mind.
Or sloth.
Or sloth.
Yes. It's right.
We have the slugs
Yeah.
right out here. What do they do?
Slug along.
There's so little rajas in them. So, I mean, they're perfect as they are. It's not a complaint about slugs, but so little rajas in them, right? Okay. And do we see that even based on the qualities of nature, we'll call a creature a being?
We're very patient.
So rock. You know, sometimes people who want to denigrate another might say someone's as dumb as a rock.
Oh, yes. Rock your head.
So rock embodies tamas, right? It doesn't move much. It doesn't apparently have any self-will to speak of.
Yeah.
So it just lies around all the time. Still, it performs an invaluable role.
You.
So by variously distributing nature's qualities throughout humanity, I thus created the four castes, the mental tendencies, and we'll just leave it at that for now. We're not here to talk about caste system, and that's not really the discussion. The mental tendencies. So also I distributed them. Though I am the author of it all, know that I am not the doer and I never change. We continue.
Was that Krishna who said, I'm not the doer?
Ah, yes. What is the doer?
The one is.
Om Namah Shivaya, dear. Safe travels. We'll see you soon. Om. Good to be with you. Who is the doer? What's the doer?
Lord.
Through what?
Through this thing,
Through what?
Us.
the Maya.
What was just discussed?
Well, what does
By variously distributing nature's qualities and activities throughout humanity, I thus created the four castes. Thus I am the author of it all. So I wrote the book. I wrote the spec sheet. I'm the author of it all. Know that I am not the doer and I never change.
Is it kind of like
Who's the doer?
The doer is the gunas.
The doer is the gunas. Beautiful, thank you.
So is it kind
That's
of
it.
like being
The doer is nature itself. I created nature. Nature is mine. But know that nature is the doer.
But Krishna is also nature. Right?
Ah, that's his body.
Okay.
That's his body. You have a body? We can say yes for a moment. It's Krishna's body, but we can say yes for a moment. Are you the body?
No.
No. Okay. So the body does. Do you do?
No.
No. Now, this is this great teaching that it's a question of doership. And he's coming back to this question of doership. So it'll unsettle us some here. He says, I am unaffected by all actions. Is it so?
So, yeah. Observes.
Yeah, okay. Does he have a preferred action?
No.
No.
Doesn't seem like it. No.
Because he's the totality of action, in a way.
Except it all.
So, and we just saw that Krishna's powers, as it were, underlying every action here, right? That who's actually acting? We could say the gunas are acting. We could say the tendencies are acting. We could say prana is underlying it. All of these are universal. So all of these are the Lord. But I'm unaffected by any of the actions, nor do I desire any results. That's pretty clear. Look at the world.
Right. So left it and so.
Right?
Yes.
In other words, I allow all the results. I don't have a preference. I give you the ability, as it were. Whoever experiences this quality in me is also free. Whoever experiences this quality in me, this deep quality, this inner, is also free. So, right? He's saying, I'm free. Even the ancients who realized this freedom from all duties nonetheless continued to work in the world. Like those sages, you too should continue to act. So, question here. Who is saying that I'm not acting? That I'm not the doer?
A thought?
Krishna.
Krishna. I, the subject. The subject, the I, you could also say Atman, is saying, is speaking, as it were. Who is doing? The qualities of nature are doing. You see a relationship between inner and outer there. Yeah? You see a relationship between I and the action. Between I and the body. Between I and the universal forms.
I just wanted to ask, is it comparable to what an artist does?
I don't see that comparison.
Well, an artist makes an artwork but doesn't control what happens to it once it's made. It's observed as it will be.
Well, that's true for everyone, isn't it? Yeah. But you're speaking of the objects, not the subject.
Well, the artist...
Krishna is pointing to the subject, to the I, not the object. He's not pointing to what is done. He's saying, I set all of this in motion, and here everything is done, but I am not the doer. I am the
Source.
The subject. The source.
the witness.
The witness.
I am witness consciousness. I am Sakshi. I am the observer, the witness to all of this. I am unaffected by anything that happens here.
Just turn the switch. Let it happen. Like turn the switch and then it just happens.
Yeah. You see, we're caught up so deeply in this idea of doership. We're identified so deeply with action, with the body, with the prana, with the qualities of nature, that whenever we're asked to withdraw ourselves and see that there's a relationship here, and that I'm not the doer, the qualities of nature are doing whatever is to be done, right? Sometimes you'll catch it, and the more often you catch it, this release starts to come, this grace of release. But in these arguments in the world, are they not rajas arguing with rajas?
Yes.
Or rajas telling tamas, get up and do?
It's that simple.
Are they not the qualities of nature acting out?
Yeah.
What's a dog? A dog barks, right? It's rajas, isn't it? It barks to get something, it barks to protect. So it's rajas, it's a quality of nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. When the dog barks at the dog and the other dog barks back, what are you observing? Rajas. You're observing qualities of nature in an interplay, right?
Activity at its basic.
Yeah. Who's observing?
I.
I am observing. Can you have a detached observation of that?
Oh.
Can you see it play it out? Can you see that it's the qualities of nature playing out? When Lakshmi here, we're in the midst of a name change, so for formerly known as Tinker. When Lakshmi here goes after the mouse, can you see the qualities of nature playing out?
Yeah, she can help herself.
And what's your role in it?
She's
To see.
observing, trying to say it's all God.
Just to see.
Well, who's even saying that? That's a quality of nature too, isn't it?
God
So
experiencing everything.
there is this other shloka where it says, "He who sees inaction, inaction, inaction."
We're coming there, yeah. We get there tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow morning we get back. We get back there. Yes, indeed, we're coming. We're in the build up to that
It seems
now.
like in that one it says the opposite. It seems that in that other shloka it would say the opposite. of
No,
what
it
it's saying.
doesn't. We'll come to that. It doesn't say the opposite at all. It says exactly this. We're confusing the inner with the outer. We're confusing the inner with the outer. The inner is not acting.
Not at all.
It's not mental either. The inner is not acting at all. Thoughts are action.
I sometimes I just wonder why this is all. Why did he author this? Why are we all going through this? Why do we have to do this?
Why not?
It's so confusing. Why can't we just turn the switch off and we just don't have to get
Why not? Why not? Why not? There's also the idea that action causes us to suffer somehow. Causes unhappiness or causes disturbance, but it doesn't.
No.
Action is just action.
Yeah.
The clouds are free to do whatever they do. Why does it disturb you?
Oh.
So if the qualities of nature are acting out, what difference does it make? Right? If you consider that, if you contemplate it for a while, you'll get to the point where you'll see where it makes a difference.
It's like looking at it as their roles. It's just their roles.
Are you fine to watch a movie? Is it okay to watch a movie? Are you okay to watch a movie? Yeah, you don't watch a movie. Very good. But you're watching one all the time.
It's a big play.
So, okay. So here's it's a beautiful discussion. We're discussing this shloka. Even the ancients who realized this freedom from all duties. Are you free of duties? Are you free of all duties? Now, this is coming from a place where he said, do your duty. So here's what happens in the teaching of truth, right? It's like we listen, we get something. It's like taking a step up on a ladder. We get something. Okay, got it. And now we're standing on that step, and what has to happen next?
You have to let go.
You have to let go of the last step in order to step up.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that.
Next.
Now he says, but actually, now that you're there and you recognize you have to do what's beneficial, you have to do your duty. Now let me help you see that you're not actually the doer. So we're dealing with levels of consciousness. From gross levels of consciousness to more and more subtle levels of consciousness. We're starting at the outside and we're coming in. He did start there. He did say, you are the self.
Right out the gate.
Right out of the gate, he said it. Let the cat out of the bag, right? He said that there's never been a time when I have not been, nor you, nor any of this, nor will there ever be a time when you, nor I, nor this cease to be. He did say that. But then he's got to start at the more gross. This is where we start. So do your duty, do what's proper, don't do what's improper, etc., like this. But now he's educating us to and what does that do? Doing your duty, doing what's beneficial. It begins to purify.
Yes.
So now he's coming up higher.
Selfless service.
He's coming up higher now. Yeah. Okay.
Free of the outcome.
So he says, I am unaffected by all actions. We grasp that, right? Makes sense. Yes? Eternal.
You've seen it all.
Eternal. Okay. Nor do I desire any results. Yeah? Okay. Whoever experiences this quality in me is also free. So this quality that he's talking about is an eternal, unchanging, unaffected, undisturbed quality, right? Undisturbed. And he's described non-disturbance. Because I know who I am. He says, I'm unaffected. Nothing here touches me.
I just wonder if it does have, what do you call it, preferences, like because there's like universal laws and there's karma. So like
Yeah, no preference. You can't see anything here that says there's a preference. Because there's everything here.
Well, there's karma though.
If there were a preference, there wouldn't be everything here. There's karma.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the play, there's karma.
Yeah. So you have some kind of preference.
No, there's no preference.
Or
There's no punishment. It's not about punishment.
karma.
Whatever seed you sow, you reap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no preference.
It's like a simple law, but
It's a very simple law. It's profound.
yeah.
Whatever seed you sow, you reap. There's no preference.
Yeah.
You sow an evil seed, you reap an evil fruit.
Yeah.
You sow a good seed, you reap a good fruit. Sweet fruit.
Yeah.
No preference whatsoever.
Yeah.
The same tree will grow both.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's no preference. No preference system. The same tree. This tree of life will grow whatever you sow, it'll grow. Right? But I am unaffected by all actions. And then he's leading us here. Even the ancients who realized this freedom from all duties, nonetheless continued to work in the world.
With the duty.
So he's speaking to inner and outer. Are you catching?
Yeah.
This is where we're coming. like those sages, you too should continue to act. These words are very precise. We'll stop here for the morning, but act, you should act. How do you act?
Virtuous.
Wake up.
Gopala, you're good at this. How do you act?
Yes, it just happens by your nature.
How do you act?
Decision.
Anyone?
You choose.
Sorry?
You choose to do something.
Yeah, you do something. You choose to do something, and then you do it. So that's an action, right?
Decision makes an action.
That's how you act. Are you that which you did? Are you that which you did? It's a very simple question.
No.
No, you're the one who acted. But are you what you did? No.
Because then you would
Okay.
always be what you did.
Oh, yeah. It's a very simple concept.
I'm tired.
It's a very simple concept. But you walk around saying, I'm a doctor, I'm a meditator, I'm a yogi, I'm a this, I'm a that. But that's what you do. That's not who you are. Right? It doesn't describe who you are. Okay. You'd be closer to the mark to say, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I'm acting like this.
You'd be much closer to the mark saying, I'm an actor. I pretend this, I pretend that, I do this, I do that.
That's true. Yes.
Which reminds, we can close with this. So when I first started I was on the prep walk for pilgrimage. I'd come back. I was in Southern California. I walked from Monterey to San Diego on the prep walk. And I was getting close. I picked up, I saw a seamstress there, and I picked up like a sweater shirt that I started to wear that said, walking coast to coast for peace. And I picked it up, and I hadn't put it on yet. And I came out to a street light, and a fellow came up to me and he said, "Are you a monk?" And I said, "Yes." And then he said, "Are you really a monk, or are you just acting?"
Oh, wow. What a strange thing to say.
And just pointing at this.
Yes.
It's pointing at this shloka.
Krishna was.
So I had to admit. How that was received is a whole another matter. But okay, let's close with final prayers. Let's close with final prayers in RT, page 174. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Orvairukmeva Bandhanan Mritor Mokshiyamam Mritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Orvairukmeva Bandhanan Mritor Mokshiyamam Mritat Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Orvairukmeva Bandhanan Mritor Mokshiyamam Mritat Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Shantu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyanto Ma Kashit Dukhabhat Bhave Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mritor Ma Mritam Gamaya Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O adorable Lord, mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Thou art Satchidananda. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss absolute. Thou art the indweller in all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptation and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, anger, greed, hatred, and jealousy. Fill our hearts with divine virtues. Let us behold thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember thee. Let us ever sing thy glories. Let thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in thee forever and ever. Humble Sakura Shivananda Maharaj Ki. And salutations to all the sages and saints of all traditions. Kalyani, the question you asked, there's no satisfying answer to.
Right. I figured.
It's one of those where when we ask it, but then when we know, it's not asked. So,